Hello grade 12s, welcome to this video on the purifying or refining of metals. Specifically here we are looking at the refining of copper, but we can give you any type of metal in a test or in your exam. Remember, when you mine copper out of the ground, it's not going to be in its purest form. The brick of copper is going to contain other metals, other impurities that you don't want if you want a brick of pure copper. So what you're going to do is you are going to attach it in an electrolytic cell. We take the impure copper and we attach it to the positive terminal of a battery or power source. To the negative terminal, we're going to attach pure copper. Then we will use this in an electrolytic reaction to create or form this pure copper or more of the pure copper. In our solution, in the electrolyte, remember we do need to have some sort of substance that contains copper ions. So we could use something like copper sulfate. You'll see in your book they speak of acidified copper sulfate solution. So there will definitely be ions floating around in your electrolyte. What will now happen is, since this impure copper is attached to the positive terminal, the solid copper ions will lose their electrons. Okay? When they lose their electrons, they are being oxidized. Okay, that is our oxidation half reaction. Our copper solid, is going to form copper ions in solution, and its electrons will flow through the circuit to the other electrode. At the other electrode, we are going to have a whole lot of electrons forming. Those electrons are going to attract the positive copper ions in our solution. Once the copper ions get to the terminal, get to the electrode, they will be reduced. They will gain electrons. And therefore, the reduction half reaction is the copper ions will gain electrons, and when they do so, they will form copper solid. That is the reduction half reaction. In the end, what you're going to find is the electrode on the left, made of impure copper, it's going to get smaller and smaller as time goes by. The one on the right is going to get bigger and bigger as time goes by, as the copper breaks down and then forms on the other electrode, on the pure copper electrode. In your book, they mention impurities. Remember, this electrode is made up of impure copper, so other metals within it, other substances within it, as soon as our copper atoms detach, our copper ions detach when they are oxidized, the other substances are going to fall down and they're going to form impurities. Sometimes we refer to that as sludge. That sludge we will not just throw away, because perhaps we will find other useful metals inside of there. So we can put those through another purification process to remove other useful metals, right? But in the end, these are our half reactions. The net reaction is used from these or created from these. Our electrons already balanced. So it's going to be copper solid plus the copper ions are going to form copper solid plus the copper ions. Order doesn't matter, it just matters where you put your reactants and where you put your products. This is the net reaction. And that is basically the end of this video. I hope that all of this made sense.